You can tell where I put this in my mouth. Paint came off. Hello Muggles, my name is Ashley Stormo. Welcome to my channel. So I took a break for like a whole week. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be back on schedule and I will be replying to other people's videos. I have everyone on notification and I've just been like, I can't. So I will be much better starting now. But today, since we're back, I will be reviewing what's this called? Bleed Like Me by C. Desir. For Christmas, my mom got me a subscription box. For the first one, I got Bleed For Me, and then I also got another one that I am going to read soon. But I thought first I would review this one. This book has very sensitive topics, and I don't want to come across as unsensitive at all in any way. Personally, I could not relate to anything that any of them were going through, so all of my opinions are a little bit harsher because I don't understand what they're going through. This, I feel like I don't know a lot about needing trigger warnings, but this definitely requires trigger warnings. Not a very happy ending. This book, I really hated this book, and I feel really bad saying that. I have trouble critiquing people who took the time to write an entire book themselves and who, like, they poured their heart and their soul into this, but I just hated this book so much. So we've got our main character, Amelia Gannon, and she's 17 years old, and her parents adopted 3 little boys from Guatemala a few years back. So now they're her brothers, and they are terrible people. So the fact that the parents adopted those kids kind of ruined her life because they are little terrors, and it's caused a huge rift in her parents' relationship. And as a result of the mother is trying to coddle these kids because of all they've been through, but by doing this, she and the dad don't really pay any attention to Amelia. So this causes Amelia to be very angsty, and she cuts herself, which I should have expected considering the title Bleed Like Me. That's not why I don't like her though. I've read other stories where characters have had mental health issues. How do I explain why I don't like Amelia? So Amelia is going to high school. She has a best friend who's not really that into her. She has a hardware job that she loves and a boss that she really enjoys. But other than that, she's not even really that close with her best friend. But other than her best friend and her job, she doesn't get any attention from home. So she cuts as a way to feel in control, I guess. And she cuts up her stomach because she doesn't want anyone to see. So at the beginning of this book, I was like, oh, okay, so we're gonna like see her redeem herself. So obviously she meets Michael Brooks. By the way, they don't call each other Amelia and Michael. It's Brooks is the boy and Gannon is the girl. Gannon, I'm assuming Gannon. So he is this like rebel dude who's been to juvie. Ooh. And he's fucked up. He's super duper fucked up, and he thinks his father's after him because he was in the foster care system. So it's like the perfect angsty match made in heaven. So I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, he's a terrible influence and he's a piece of shit. Okay, she's going to redeem herself. And because the back of this says a heartbreakingly beautiful story of obsessive love. So I was like, oh, it's gonna be heartbreaking and beautiful. Well, that's good at least. I don't understand any of the characters in this. Stop! My parents are banging the door or the dishes. Can you hear it? So they're dating each other and they're like, oh my god, like, I'll fix you, blah blah blah. But then he fucking cuts her. He cuts up her thighs, and I was like the brakes went off, and I was like, no. They eventually run away to they live near Chicago, so they run away to Chicago and they live in this little room with creepy dudes. Although I liked the creepy dudes much better than I liked fucking Brooks. I just fucking hated him. By the way, the fact that his name is Brooks, I just think of Vicky from the Real Housewives and how her man was Brooks. So maybe that also like fueled my hatred of him. Anyways, so they're in this shitty little fake ass apartment. She has to use the bathroom in the McDonald's. They don't have a shower, which was just like, what? And he's super controlling, and he makes her get this burner phone and won't let her like talk to anyone. And she finds out from her friend that her parents are separated. And so I'm like, oh my god, there's like 2 pages left. How you gonna redeem yourself, girl? And he, spoilers, he fucking gets high. And oh, he deals drugs, by the way. She works as a waitress or like a pizza server, and he deals drugs. What a gem. What a gem. So he gets high and he cuts himself and he dies. So it ends with her back at her job, and her boss is clearing out the apartment upstairs for her because she can't live with her family. Clearly, that's just a bad situation in and of itself. So it ends, and this boy who works with her, who's so nice, and he's on the soccer team, and he cares about her, is like, you gonna be good, homie? And she's like, no. And I get that that's real life. I get that there's probably some people who go through stuff and, you know, they aren't able to see their flaws, and they, in the span of the book, if this was a series I would feel better. Pretty sure it's not, because I'd be like, oh, she's gonna redeem herself in the next series. But it's not. So I was really pissed because I was like, she's still cutting herself. But then I like took a second. First of all, I finished this, I read this in maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It's a real quick read, real easy. But when I was done, it was like 1 a.m. and I was like, are you kidding me? I wanted to huck it across the room and fucking catch it on fire and throw it away. But it didn't, and I sat with it for a second and I was like, that's very realistic. That's probably how some people are in their relationships, and of course she's still gonna be fucked up if she has seen her boyfriend kill himself. Like that, okay, she's still gonna be fucked up. I just hope that in the author's head, down the road, she ends up being okay. It sounds like they're setting her up just so that she will, but I'm not sure. I also think it's important to note that the author volunteers as a rape victim activist for more than 10 years, including providing direct service as an advocate in hospital ERs. So my guess is she's probably seen some pretty troubled youth, men and women. So she's probably encapsulated that into a character, which means that she has more of a valid experience with people who have probably gone through this, whereas I am like, I've had a very picturesque life and I've never seen anyone go through anything like this. So there's probably a lot of truth in it that I just didn't relate to, because I was like, what? I just wanted to like throttle all of the characters. I hated them so much. She quit school to go run away to the city. This is my most disappointing read of 2018, but that's fine. I will say, I didn't hate this because of the writing. I purely hated this because of the characters. It was a book that was like bad in the terms of because you didn't like the people, but I wanted to keep reading. I just ended up hating it because I didn't like where it went. No, I don't think there are any trigger warnings, so I think maybe they should include that in new prints, because what if someone was going through something like this and this just inflamed that? This is so mean. Maybe this other book by this girl is great. I wanted to see the relationship with her parents explored more. I wanted to see the relationship with her best friend, which was weird, explored more, and all of the other relationships besides fucking Brooks. So I didn't like this book. I will say that I am not currently. I've read the first few pages of the other book that I got in the And So the Story Begins subscription box, and I'm quite enjoying that one. So So don't just not get it just because I ripped this book apart. Thanks y'all so much for watching. I will be uploading a video on Friday about writing, and I'll be replying to other people's videos and to comments, and I'll be better now. Fully hate this book so much.